Well, the caution music to the ears of Jeff Gordon, who's really watched his options become limited out there on the racetrack as the car becomes more and more tight. It's making it really hard for him to run on the bottom. Came on the radio a short time ago and said, car's really not good. I'm paraphrasing for the sake of Grandma and the youngins out there. He's not real happy with the car, so he was planning on coming in 5 laps anyway. So as I said, the caution, a good thing. They'll free him up.
Jeannie, the caution is from the turn 4 end of pit road. Kasey Kahne getting finished up, and Jeremy Mayfield going to be close as to whether Kahne was the first car across the end line at the end of pit road.
I believe Jeff Gordon, that 24 group, Robbie Loomis led crew, came in third. I believe he won the battle off pit road.
I think you're right. Let's review the pit stops. Here's Matt.
Well, they're feeling pretty cool in the 24 pit right now, as much as that is possible out here with a 13:60 pit stop. And Jeff Gordon giving them the pat on the back, saying that was awesome. The idea to free the car up, that's exactly what they did. 4 tires and around and right rear. Steve?
Jeannie, Jimmie Johnson said he wanted to be just a little bit tighter, so they made an air pressure adjustment. They also
show you the race off pit road. 1 by.
Not sure about who finished second coming off pit road. I tell you, that 77 group, they had a great pit stop from 9th to 6th. Brendan Gaughan. There you go. We've been seeing it all day long. You win that battle off pit road, you pat each other on the back. Job done.
Getting set to go back to green as we complete 145 laps. Oh, let's see. Check the watch on the starter's left arm. Must be time to
crank it up. Turn that surround sound wide open.
We look at the good. Jeff Gordon leading for the 3rd time today, a 2-time winner here.
They've just waved the green flag with 92 laps to go. Jeff Gordon jumps out on the restart with Kasey Kahne, Jimmie Johnson, Jeremy Mayfield, Brendan Gaughan up to the 5th spot on this restart. Loses a couple there in the back straightaway.
I want to point out that Brendan Gaughan qualified 5th for this race today. That's his best ever Nextel Cup start. And the way he's running, he is liable to eclipse his best ever Nextel finish as well.
Lead change. Pole sitter Kasey Kahne comes back.
And you know, we've watched this all day long with Jeff Gordon, that 24 car. He don't fight the issue when someone catches him. He don't sit there and try to run side by side. That's about the 3rd time we've seen that. This was still a lot of laps to go. That's not a bad move.
I think we heard him say, save a little fuel. So you can save a lot of fuel when you're running behind somebody.
Things were heating up for the lead a second ago. Jeff Gordon cut Kasey Kahne's lead in half, down to 0.2 of a second. Then it opened back up to half a second the last time by. You think was Jeff just testing him?
I think that Kasey probably is. I think all these guys are thinking fuel. And so I think anytime you can slow down a little bit and it doesn't hurt anything, that's what you do. Kasey slowed down a little bit. Jeff closed back up. Maybe Kasey will drive off again.
You know, I had an interesting conversation with Jeff Burton this morning. We talked about saving fuel. And Darrell, it's pretty easy to do at a 2-mile racetrack that this wide, this many racing grooves, but you have to know about it from the very beginning and how you save that fuel. Roll out of the throttle a little early, pick it up a little later, but you can't tell a driver 10 laps from the end of a run, save me some fuel.
And look at this. You can't tell him save fuel when he snuck right up to the bumper of the lead car. Come on.
Here's the thing, Larry. I can get you a lap. I know I can get you a lap. I might be able to get you 2 laps. I'm talking about from a driver's perspective. But don't ask me to do any more than that. If we got to do more than that, I better come to pit road.
There you go. You're not going to have enough fuel.
But look at these two drivers. Jeff Gordon came out of USAC, open wheel cars, ran a couple years in the Busch Series, tore up a lot of stuff, came to Cup, started winning and never stopped. Kasey Kahne, same career path, maybe 8 or so years behind, but the exact same career path as the man who's trying to take the lead from him right now.
You know what else they have in common?
This man.
That man right there.
Ray Evernham, who was the crew chief for the International Race of Champions, and then came to Nextel Cup Racing. Had a cup of coffee with Alan Kulwicki. Spent about 2 or 3 weeks with Alan. They butted heads, couldn't get along. Ray moved on and ended up with Jeff Gordon. Made both of them superstars.
And I think you got it, Ray. I don't think we give Ray near enough credit for the success of the Dodge program. He started it. He started the engine program. He started the car program. And the success they've had, I give him a lot of credit for. Look at these cats. Whoa.
But, I mean, mate, they've been doing this for 191 laps. Jeff Gordon in the 24 runs the bottom of the racetrack. Kasey Kahne runs the top. Sometimes the 9 prevails, sometimes the 24 prevails.
Let's go back to what Darrell said at the top of the show about the top versus the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, I think I want to be on the bottom. If I got to keep working on my car, I'll win if I can run that bottom lane like what Jeff Gordon's doing right now.
Yeah, the 24 car, Jeff Gordon, he's been doing it the whole race. In fact, we saw from the aero view that time, those left side tires was below the white line.
Lead change. Gordon at lap 192, and that is the 19th lead change of the day. Kasey Kahne takes it right back, but you know they can swap it back and forth all they want. They only count as lead changes at the start-finish line.
I think we're getting a little prelude to the ending of this race, and that 9 car so far has come up short twice, drag racing back to the start-finish line. I'm sure he's thinking about that.
I know at home some guys saying it's not a Prelude, it's a Chevy and a Dodge.
But Mike, you mentioned it. Yeah, the lead changes are only documented at start-finish line. There's no telling how many times just these two guys have swapped the lead on the rest of the racetrack.
All right, it's hot. It's 97 degrees. But you're in contention. You're battling for the lead, Darrell. It's got to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Your focus is such. I mean, you're concentrating on solely what you're doing. You're racing a 24 car. The last thing you think about is how hot it is. You're thinking about victory circle and a good cool drink and getting your picture made.
Well, it may be hot, but I'll bet it's a lot cooler when your car's out front. Matt?
Kasey Kahne trying to win his first Nextel Cup race after finishing second on 3 separate occasions. His spotter is Busch Series driver Tim Fedewa. He has reminded him, get a good eye at the entrance of pit road the next few laps. So when we pit around lap 196, you'll know how you need to make your entrance so we do not lose any time under this green flag stop. They're going to make a slight air pressure adjustment just to try to make that car a little better on entry and make that car good enough to go to victory lane. Jeff?
Matt, what Tim Fedewa was telling his rookie driver is so important because you take a look at this veteran, Jeff Gordon. He knows how to get on off pit road. He'll be able to bring his 2040 car to pit road at warp speed, basically. And for him to be able to duplicate what Jeff Gordon does, he's going to have to really be on his game and realize in case he doesn't have a lot of experience here at California getting on and off pit road.
Ricky Rutt battling with Jamie McMurray, Tony Stewart, all fighting back there for 17th place with 55 laps to go. Now, Gordon's our leader. Kasey Kahne also has a driver coach, Bill Elliott.
They do make a chassis adjustment to the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. Left side tires going on. Their stop is finished. Back. The 9 team has finished 4th here at California. The last 2 races they're trying to go to victory lane as Kruschek and Pullman hit the lugs on the left front, now the left rear. Rodney Rose signals they're full of fuel. He's down and away.
Robbie Gordon completes his stop as Jeff Gordon comes in along with Jeremy Mayfield and Bobby Labonte.
Come on down. Right over here. Jump right in here. 4 tires.
Jeannie.
Well, concerns about fuel have started a while ago in the 24 pit of Jeff Gordon. They've been talking him down the last 5 laps, just ticking them off, saying he would be okay on fuel. You just got to get in here, thinking about conservation, thinking about getting 4 more fresh tires and a whole lot of fuel. Matt?
So we pretty much cycled through green flag pit stops.
But he's putting our points leader coming into this race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. will ride with him. The Budweiser car, that's putting him a lap down. He's back in 22nd position, so now we have 21 cars on the lead lap.
We may have seen the final pit stops of the day, but there's still 45 laps to go in the Auto Club 500 on Fox, presented by Visa. 40 laps, 80 miles to go. There's your leader, Jeff Gordon, going by. Let's look at Jeff Gordon and Kasey Kahne. Gordon is the leader now by 3 seconds. Looking at the pit stop times, Gordon had a 14-second stop under the green flag. Kasey Kahne's stop was 15.6. So there's 1.6 seconds of that 3-second gap.
Makes me wonder if they didn't have to put more fuel in the 9 than they did possibly the 24.
You see right there the Fox tracks, though. Kasey Kahne in the 9. He's just a little over 3 seconds behind our leader, Jeff Gordon. Now, just to bring you update on what the situation is, Jeff Gordon, our leader, if we indeed stay green, he will have to run 52 laps on this final tank of fuel. Kasey Kahne in the 9, as well as Jimmie Johnson in the 48, will have to run 53 laps.
Getting loose. I got to time myself up. 10-4 button. Turn off that right front blower if you need to.
Jeff Gordon.
Uh-oh.
All right, let me tell you what he's talking about right there. Is we have a battle right here for third place. Bobby Labonte in the 18, Jimmie Johnson in the 48. He's getting loose. What they have is a blower that blows air on the right front tire to keep the air pressure down. What Robbie Loomis told him is cut the blower off. Let the right front tire build some air pressure. That will tighten that car up. That's about all you can do without another pit stop coming. Pretty impressed with that call by Robbie Loomis.
Jeff Gordon running the high line. Kasey Kahne just took 0.2 of a second out of Gordon's lead on the last lap. He's coming. Can Jeff Gordon hang on to win his 3rd lap at California Speedway? Can rookie Kasey Kahne pass him to win his first Cup race ever? Or will Bobby Labonte beat them both? In 30 laps, we'll know. He was one of the 2 big gainers on that. The other was Jeff Gordon, who now sees his advantage expand back up to 3.5 seconds. But the way Labonte is coming, that's not going to be enough.
And just that last lap, he mirrored Jeff Gordon's lap, but he's consistently been beating him 3, 4, 5 tenths a lap.
His biggest problem is he's got a couple of 3-lap cars up here in front of him. He's got to get by them. Gordon, on the other hand, has got clear sailing. There's nobody in front of him.
We talked earlier about the attempt to build some air pressure, some heat in the right front tire of Jeff Gordon's car. That's hard to do when you're not in the pits. Jeff?
What they're talking about on the 24 car of Jeff Gordon, NASCAR allows these guys to run a blower which actually sucks air out from underneath the nose and blows on the inside bead of the right front tire as well as the left front tire. Crew chief Robbie Loomis has told Jeff, let's build a little bit of pressure in the right front tire and tighten the car up. Just cut that fan off. It'll allow the right front tire to get a little hotter and make a little more grip with the right front. Almost the same as making an air pressure adjustment on a pit stop. Pretty smart move by these guys.
I tell you, that is a clever call because you heard him complain about being loose, Jeff. And when the air pressure builds up in that right front tire, a stiffer right front spring would tighten that car up. Obviously, you don't have the luxury of changing the spring. The increase in air pressure makes that right front spring think it's stiffer. I'm pretty impressed with that one. Yeah, he's only a little over 3 seconds behind our leader, Jeff Gordon. That's Bobby Labonte in the 18. And he still has 25 laps to get there. And he's pretty much on the same fuel agenda as Jeff Gordon. He pitted on lap 198, so he has to go 52 laps. We've seen in the past Bobby Labonte knows how to conserve.
Let's see where he is this time.
But Jeff Gordon had picked it up that last lap. He was within a tenth of Bobby Labonte's time, and Labonte would not have enough time to catch him. Now on this lap, Labonte is 0.2 quicker.
Yeah, he cut it down to 2.9.
Now Kasey Kahne continues to backslide. He just ran a 42.68. 23 laps to go here with Jeff Gordon now leading Bobby Labonte by 2.8 seconds.
He's getting a tenth a lap, 2.7 that time by.
Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, 2.7 seconds between them. 22 laps to go.
By Visa, and Jeff Gordon trying to win this race for the 3rd time. Bobby Labonte 2nd. In fact, these two have had a history. Labonte has finished 2nd to Jeff Gordon 8 times in his career, so he knows something about looking behind Gordon, the leader, with just 17 laps to go. Jeff Hammond.
Right now, what Jeff Gordon needs to do is just keep hitting his marks, because he realizes he's the guy that's got to be caught. Bobby Labonte's back here about 2.6 seconds behind him, but he's still got to go through this traffic that basically Gordon has already cleared, which is the 21, and his teammate Tony Stewart.
And Kasey Kahne has slipped down to 4th. Much of a factor will he be before this is over?
I don't think so, not right now. I think everything is pretty much set in stone what's going to happen here. If nobody runs out of gas, it's going to be Jeff Gordon's race to lose, basically.
13 times Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte have finished 1-2. And yes, Gordon's won 8 of those meetings. Labonte has won 5. 2 laps ago, Bobby Labonte knocked 2/10 out of Gordon's lead. Gordon was in traffic. Now Gordon has a clear field in front, and he's picked it up another 3/10 to 2.9 seconds first to second.
Very reminiscent of Martinsville a few weeks ago, where Bobby really made a charge right at the end of the race to get to Jeff. Jeff had the big lead. Bobby came up a little short. Looks like it's going to happen again today.
But that last lap was one of the first laps that Jeff Gordon has beat Bobby Labonte that bad on the stopwatch.
You know, I believe Bobby really drove the wheels off that thing, and he's used up his stuff, Larry. I don't think he's got what it takes to get up there now. I did for a little while, but I don't think he's going to make it. Really, the big thing is Gordon has no traffic. It seems like he struggles more in traffic, but doesn't have any to deal with.
The top 10. Jeannie, how about that second place car?
Jeff Gordon right now just got to sit there, not make any mistakes, and this is his race.
And of course, he can conserve fuel having a 2-second lead. They'll just keep him posted on where Bobby Labonte in 18 is right now.
And that's exactly his lead, Larry, with 11 laps to go, as Gordon guns for his 6th home state win.
See, once again, Gordon got in a little bit of traffic, and that really slows him down. And that's been the history of him in that car. They get in traffic, and he doesn't handle it well.
Gordon with 3 victories at Infineon Raceway in Sears Point, California, the road course where we go in June.
10 to go, bud. Got 2 seconds. All holler. Keep her going.
And looking for his 3rd win here. This isn't over. 4th place, pole sitter Kasey Kahne and Jimmie Johnson.
And down to 1.8 for Bobby Labonte, but I think that'll just build back up once Jeff Gordon gets by McMurray there.
I think that's what held Jeff Gordon up just a little bit. Jamie McMurray in the 42 car trying to stay on the lead lap. He's back in 16th position. And Jeff Gordon's making his 375th career start here today. And what's unique about that, it's all consecutive ever since he made that first start at Atlanta in November of '92.
And he's won a bunch of races, 4 championships, and this will be, what, his 60?
He won his 64th career win at Talladega last week.
65th win this week. So he's doing it in a very short period of time, about 10 or 12 years.
Matt Kenseth, they're not conserving fuel right now. Again, that continues to be that battle for 6th place.
Bobby Labonte is well within sight of Jeff Gordon. Now, even for an experienced shoe like Labonte, Darrell, does that get you up on the wheel?
Well, of course, it does 2 things. It gets Jeff Gordon looking back, and it gets a lot of adrenaline flowing for Bobby Labonte. So I think Jeff's just timing it out right, though. He might get to him, but he doesn't have time to get by him.
Labonte took another 2/10 out of Gordon's lead that time. 1.55 seconds, 8 laps to go.
And look at these guys here on the right, though, this battle for 6. We're watching Jeff Gordon, the leader, on the left, but these guys are battling like it's the last lap, and they've been doing it for 25 laps. In fact, I think that little bump draft a while ago.
Who finds himself now in 14th place. Still 15 cars on the lead lap. 7 laps to go. 1.4 seconds is the differential. Last time by, Jeff Gordon was the fastest car on the racetrack, Darrell, and he picked it up to a 1.5-second margin.
Yeah, he's just watching Bobby and keeping Bobby at bay, saving a little fuel, driving conservative, not making any mistakes. That's where he is right now.
Labonte takes away a 10th. 1.4 seconds. Might as well be an hour and 40 minutes, though. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon in the 24 don't have a lot of traffic in front of him. He has Ward Burton up there in the 0 car that's running in the 15th position, but the field's somewhat strung out in front of him.
Yeah, if there was traffic, that would allow Bobby to get there. Bobby's got as good a car as Jeff, but he just can't get there.
Jimmie Johnson just overdrove turn 2, trying to catch Kasey Kahne. 4th place still under discussion. 11 seconds off the lead, though. And Johnson just ran out of racetrack. Now he's trying to close it back up again.
And see, that's the kind of mistake that right now Jeff Gordon doesn't want to make. He wants to just drive his, as we say, hit his marks, don't make any mistakes, and this race is yours.
Saw Jeff Gordon do something through 1 and 2 we've not seen him do. He ran the high line through 1 and 2.
Oh,
it looked like Bobby Labonte really closed up on him. He didn't get off turn 2 that good.
He didn't, Larry, and he was flirting with that wall off of turn 2 that time. Now, that's the kind of thing that you cannot do at this point.
It was down to 1.35 seconds, and measurably Labonte has closed, working right down on the bottom line in the bottom lane as they come around. 3 laps to go.
He's going to be a lot closer now than he was, I can tell you that.
And I think our fans realize that these 105,000 people, every one of them are standing on their feet right now.
If Labonte gains as much the next 3 laps as he did the last lap, they're dead even at the line.
Yeah, Gordon is just having a little problem off of turn 2 that he wasn't having, but he got through there good that time.
DW, you can see it right there. It's under a second as they go halfway down the backstretch. Next time, Bobby, 2 to go.
I think Jeff Gordon overdrove turn 1 there the last lap, and I think that he just overdrove it, got up the hill, lost a little time, but I don't think that. I think he's playing it just right. Come on up here and get right on my back bumper if you want to, but I don't believe he can pass him.
The Fox Tracks tells the whole tale. It's going to be less than a second as they cross the line. 2 laps to go, 0.93 seconds the gap.
Boy, if Jeff goes up the hill, if he overdrives that corner and gets up there high like he did earlier, lap before,
he got a better run off turn 2 that time.
On the bottom.
He gave himself a little more room that time, Larry. He just didn't sail it in there quite as hard.
We see Joe Nemechek on the bottom there, the 01 car. He was running 10th. He's out of fuel on the backstretch.
Coming around to take the white flag. Traffic will be a factor for the leaders before this one ends, less than 3 miles from right now.
Boy, and Bobby just keeps closing and closing and closing, but man, it's just going to be too little too late.
White flag for Jeff Gordon, trying to score his 66th career win.
Uh-oh, Bobby Labonte's out of gas. Bobby Labonte's out of gas.
Jeff Gordon still running through the middle of 1 and 2.
Labonte right down on the bottom, but the gap opened up. Can Jeremy Mayfield, Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman catch up?
Bobby's out of gas. It's just that he had a little shot, but
Matt.
Jeremy Mayfield came out and says, I feel like I'm out of gas as well. Tank Probst is on the wall for the past 2 laps.
Casey Kane also on pit road.
Both Evernham cars on pit road, Jeremy Mayfield and Casey Kane.
I was going to say they're not notorious for getting great gas mileage.
Checkered flag, Jeff Gordon wins it.
Bobby Labonte's on the apron in turn 4, but I think Jimmy Johnson's probably going to go by him in the 48 car for 2nd place.
And either Gone or Labonte 5th.
Bobby Labonte beat him to the line on the apron out of gas.
For the want of a gallon of gas.
Been there, done that.
You talked about it, Mike. Finishes 10th.
Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson score a 1-2 California Kid finish for Team Hendrick.
Chevy winning moment. Chevy congratulates Jeff Gordon and the 24 car, the Monte Carlo team, on today's marathon win. 500 miles, no cars dominated Cup racing like the defending manufacturer's champion Chevy, an American revolution. Jeff Gordon barely enough fuel as he crossed the finish line for victory to provide the burnout. Moments ago, Bobby Labonte racing over to congratulate Jeff Gordon. Labonte for the 9th time in his career finishing second to Jeff Gordon, who has won for the 66th time in his career and moving up in the points race. A busy week here in California for Jeff Gordon. Let's check in with Jeannie Zalasco, who is standing by with Bobby Labonte.
After Bristol 5 races ago, Jeff Gordon was 177 points out and in 12th place. Now he's in 3rd and he's a contender.
Oh, yeah, and of course, we know he knows how to win races. He knows how to win championships. I'm telling you, that win last week at Talladega, that was huge. That's the turning point. And I want to tell you one other thing. John Bickford coming back to work for Jeff Gordon is making a big difference in his attitude.
Fuel mileage becomes the big question. Jeff Gordon had the answer.
We've been coming here since 1997, 8 races. And I don't know if you can name me one of those races where something like happened today. But I'm telling you, this Casey Kane in that 9 car, only 10 Nextel Cup starts. I know he walks away from here a little disappointed, but trust me, he will win his share of races.
Jeff Gordon's 6th win in his home state of California, his 3rd here at California Speedway. Steve Burns is there to help him celebrate.
And a happy Jeff Gordon out of that race car. It took you a while to get here to victory lane.
Holy cow, you know, we got here at the inaugural race, but it's been a while since we have been here. But yeah, I went to do my burnout and spin around the grass, and I ran out of gas. So it was an amazing run. I tell you what, this guy right here, Robbie Loomis, great job, buddy, great job. I mean, he just, man, I tell you what, we weren't the best car. We weren't really one of the top 5 cars, I didn't think, yesterday in practice. But we talked, and these guys just dialed that thing right in. I couldn't be more, yeah. Pop, hope you're doing okay, buddy. But just got to thank DuPont and Pepsi, Lay's, Quaker State, Haas. I mean, it's Hendrick's 20th anniversary. We're trying to win some races, and we're having a fun time doing it right now. And it's just been amazing these last 2 weeks.
Hey, Jeff, you guys have a lot of momentum in this part of the season.
You know, I think that when you've got a team like this and you know, you have race cars like we do and the resource that we have at Hendrick Motorsports. By the way, Randy Dorton in that engine shop, thank you, man. Thank you. God, that thing was going down the straightaways. But we do have momentum right now. We're going to try to, you know, enjoy this one over our off weekend and just try to keep the momentum when we come back.
Congratulations to you and your entire Hendrick Motorsports team. Let's go to Chris Myers.
All right, thanks, Steve. How about where this was run? The mature decision, the pit stop, the crew decision, the way Jeff ran his race?
It's all strategy right now. We keep talking about when you come to California, you've got to do 2 things. You've got to beat the racetrack, but you've also got to beat whoever's trying to stretch the fuel mileage. And today, Robbie Loomis and that team knew they needed to run and get to that certain lap, and they were able to get there. You think about the fact the guys who couldn't go the distance, they came up short, but Jeff Gordon, hey, they were on top of it, and basically just enough to win the turkey.
Yep, second straight win for Jeff Gordon, up to 3rd in points. Has quite a ways to go. You got to look down at Victory Lane. We're going to talk with Robbie Loomis, the crew chief of the winner, here in just a moment. Let's check in with Kevin Harvick and our Matt Yoka. Matt? Robbie Loomis, crew chief with Jeff Gordon, joining Jeff Hammond and myself here in Victory Lane. First, congratulations, and talk about, you know, it's such a team sport, working with Jeff Gordon, particularly in this race today. Where was this one for you guys?
The best in the business. The race team's incredible. You know, I want to first thank God, say hello to my mother for helping heal her, and say hello to Pop and Rick at home and thank Pop. But it's just such a race team, so strong, Hendrick Motorsports, surrounded by so many people. Jeff knows he's been in the situation. It doesn't make your job easy, but it makes it easier.
What about the fact, you know, you guys really had it figured? I mean, basically, you run out of fuel after you cross the start-finish line. Getting pretty nervous on top of that box.
I got to take my hat off to Brian Weitzel right there. I'm telling you, him and Joe Berardi were up there figuring the fuel mileage, and they said we're going to be within a lap to the good side, and that's exactly what it was. You know, we got in trouble a little bit last year. I made some gambles, and this year to get a couple back, it makes it real gratifying.
Robbie, bigger picture, Jeff, you know, it seemed like some hard luck races earlier in the year. Now he's won back-to-back, a threat maybe for, again, his 5th championship points. I mean, is he as good as he's ever been?
I tell you what, he really is. He's really focused. We talked before Bristol, and we talked about things the team had been under, what we were going through, and how we were going to get back on top, and the focus we needed. We call it having good karma, working together good, communicating good, and taking care of people. And it's really coming together right now.
All right, well, you guys going to go celebrate, right?
You better believe it. We'll be celebrating big.
Ain't no California dream now, is it, buddy? It's all real.
All right, well, thanks. Have fun, and have a good Mother's Day weekend, too, with your mom there, too.
Appreciate that. Looking forward to that. Thanks.
Feel a little better. All right, Robbie Loomis, of course, crew chief with Jeff Gordon. Jeff Hammond, you know, we saw young Kasey Kahne try and challenge. He's been compared to Jeff Gordon, but he hasn't won a Cup race yet. Jeff Gordon pretty much sent the message out, hey, I'm still king of the throne.
He's still definitely the king of the throne right there. And the bad thing about it, when I see it on television today in the last couple of weeks, is the enthusiasm that Jeff Gordon has got back as far as this race team's concerned. I think Robbie Loomis and him have finally just reconnected right now. Woe be under the rest of the competition.
For Saturday night racing, that'll be on FX. We'll be back to bring it to you at that time. So the heat, well, the temperature got up to nearly 100 degrees, but somehow Jeff Gordon, who has become the face of the sport, one of the more popular drivers, along with Dale Earnhardt Jr., survived the 500-mile marathon. It was more than just the heat. The other drivers in this tough, slick racetrack. For all of us here on the Fox crew, we appreciate you watching. If we don't see you, have an enjoyable Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day early to all you moms out there. Thanks for joining NASCAR on Fox, where America gathers every weekend for racing.